Welcome, everyone. Today, we remember a man whose music transcended decades, whose voice carried hope, and whose heart beat with a timeless rhythm that still echoes across generations. This is a tribute to John Lodge, the legendary bassist, songwriter, and voice of the Moody Blues, a man who gave the world not only songs, but a lifetime of harmony, grace, and meaning. John Charles Lodge was born on July 20th, 1943, in Birmingham, England. Like many young dreamers of post-war Britain, he grew up in a world rebuilding itself, a time when imagination was both a refuge and a spark. From an early age, John was drawn to sound, the way a melody could transport you, how a song could say what words alone could not. The radio was his teacher, and early rock and roll his first language. He listened to Buddy Holly, the Everly Brothers, Jerry Lee Lewis, artists who taught him that passion and simplicity could move the human soul. But John wasn't born into fame. He was born into work. He studied engineering, building things with his hands before building melodies with his heart. Even then, those who knew him said he was deliberate, humble, and patient, the kind of man who thought deeply before he spoke. But when he did, people listened. Music found him early, and so did friendship. In his teenage years, he met Ray Thomas, a kindred spirit who shared his love for song and his desire to create something beautiful. That bond would one day shape the course of British music history. But before the Moody Blues became a household name, before the world tours and platinum records, there was just John, a young man with a bass guitar and a dream to make something eternal. When the Moody Blues went through a transformation in the mid-1960s, John joined alongside Justin Hayward, bringing with him a sense of purpose and musical depth that helped reshape the band forever. The group evolved from their R&B roots into something visionary, a fusion of rock, classical orchestration, and poetic storytelling. Together, they made music that wasn't confined to time or genre. It was emotional, it was philosophical, it was transcendent. John's bass wasn't just rhythm, it was soul. His playing had warmth, gravity, and sensitivity. You could feel his presence in every note, grounding the band's symphonic explorations. His harmonies blended perfectly with Justin's voice, creating a sound that defined an era. And his songwriting? It told stories of love, self-discovery, and spiritual wonder. Songs like Ride My Seesaw, Eyes of a Child, and Isn't Life Strange carried his lyrical fingerprints, each line a reflection of his ability to see the world not only as it was, but as it could be. He wrote about connection, faith, and meaning at a time when rock music was becoming louder, faster, and more rebellious. John offered something else, depth, a reminder that stillness can be powerful and gentleness can be brave. As fame grew, John remained grounded. While others were swept up in the chaos of celebrity, he stayed rooted in family and faith. He married his wife, Kirsten, in 1968, a love story that endured for over 5 decades. Together, they raised 2 children, Emily and Christian, who became his proudest creations of all. Even as the Moody Blues toured the world and sold millions of records, John often said his greatest joy was being a husband and father. The band's success was monumental. Albums like Days of Future Past, In Search of the Lost Chord, and A Question of Balance redefined what rock could sound like. They weren't just records. They were experiences, sonic journeys blending orchestral grandeur with introspective poetry. John's songwriting played a vital role in shaping that vision. His compositions carried emotional intelligence, sensitivity, and a moral compass that reflected the man he was: kind, thoughtful, and quietly determined. Over the decades, the Moody Blues became more than a band. They became a spiritual home for millions of listeners, people who found comfort in the lyrics, hope in the melodies, and truth in their timeless sound. John Lodge was at the center of it all, the steady heartbeat of a group that dared to dream. Outside the band, John was equally prolific. He released solo albums that spoke to his independent spirit. Natural Avenue in 1977 and 10,000 Light Years Ago in 2015, music that showed he never stopped evolving. Even in his later years, he continued to tour, perform, and connect with fans, sharing stories and songs with the same energy that defined his youth. His performances were full of sincerity, not about nostalgia, but gratitude. gratitude for a life lived doing what he loved most. But behind the fame and the lights, John Lodge was known as a man of humility. He was a musician who valued silence as much as sound, reflection as much as rhythm. His faith guided him quietly but firmly, and he often spoke about how music was both a gift and a responsibility, something that connects the divine to the human heart. Then came the day no one was ready for. On October 10th, 2025, John Lodge passed away at the age of 82. His family shared that his passing was sudden, peaceful, and surrounded by love. He had been listening to music, the sounds that had shaped his entire life. It was fitting, in a way, that music was there at the end, as it had been since the beginning. The exact cause of death was not disclosed. His family described it simply as unexpected, a phrase that carries the weight of both shock and serenity. Fans across the world mourned together, not only the loss of a musician, but the departure of a man who had given so much of himself to his art, his family, and his faith. In the days that followed, tributes poured in from across the globe. Justin Hayward called him a brother in every sense, steadfast, loving, and true. Longtime fans shared stories of meeting him after shows, describing how kind and attentive he was, how he listened to them like old friends. Fellow musicians spoke of his generosity, his mentorship, and his gentle leadership. Even after his death, the legacy of John Lodge continues to resonate. His voice lives in the songs that will never fade. His bass lines still hum through the speakers like steady heartbeats, reminding us that music never truly dies. It just changes form. And in every lyric he wrote, in every note he played, there was a message of peace, hope, and enduring love. 4 generations of listeners, the Moody Blues represented something eternal, that perfect marriage of sound and soul, poetry and power. John Lodge was one of its pillars, a bridge between heaven and earth, between what is heard and what is felt. His artistry taught us that even in the noise of life, beauty is found in harmony. When you listen to Isn't Life Strange, or I'm Just a Singer in a Rock and Roll Band, or Ride My Seesaw, you're not just hearing a song, you're hearing his life's philosophy. That life is both fragile and extraordinary, that joy and sorrow coexist, that to create something that touches others is to live forever. John Lodge didn't chase fame, he chased meaning. And because of that, his art endures. His life reminds us that success isn't about how loud the applause is. It's about how long the echo lasts after the music fades. His echo, friends, will never fade. So today, we honor John Lodge not with sadness, but with gratitude. For the melodies he gave us, for the emotion he shared, for the humanity he carried in every note. His music taught us to dream a little deeper, to feel a little more, and to cherish the moments that make us whole. Thank you, John Lodge, for showing us what it means to live a life of purpose and passion. Thank you for the songs that shaped our memories and the wisdom that shaped our hearts. Though you have left this world, your music continues to guide us, inspire us, and remind us that love, like sound, never truly disappears. And to those watching, if John Lodge's legacy touched your life in any way, if his songs ever gave you comfort, courage, or reflection, take a moment to honor him. Like this video, share it with someone who understands the power of timeless music, and subscribe to keep celebrating the lives of artists who gave everything for the joy of sound. Because some legacies don't end, they live forever, in rhythm, in memory, and in song. Rest peacefully, John Lodge. Your music still plays, and always will.